Hi, this is Tia again. I'm really sorry for the awkwardness of myself in these videos. I hate being in front of the camera, but I really want to comment on disability and stalking. I need to make note of the time because my videos were too long, and I did a really good one with a pointer of all the crap of my own disability. And just a comment, this is how I normally dress. I had to make a decision early on when I left my husband. He preferred that I dressed in a lot of colors and decided he didn't like tattoos and piercings. And anyways, I went back to my old standard, albeit I'm more sophisticated than when I was younger. So the comment on the comfort zone though, a couple of women, one who I was just dumbfounded, too stupid, like a deer in the headlights, looking at her getting into my vehicle at the B of A on 41st Avenue in Santa Cruz. She literally just went into my vehicle as if she owned it, and she had a long black coat. I was really into coats. Upping my coat and jacket collection at the time, so she looked similar, albeit awkward, and conspicuous or inconspicuous, whatever this costume is for you or I or anyone else, it has to be comfortable. I realize that I stand out a little bit. My mother claims that I'm too well dressed for her town. But I'm comfortable. So there are benefits and drawbacks to either one. If I just put on tennis shoes, I don't own jeans. I did once and I don't understand denim. I realize that this is being maybe appear to be snobbish and have absolutely nothing to do with stalking. It has everything to do with stalking, because the way that I look and what I choose to wear has nothing to do with being stalked. If you look statistically at females who are stalked, we run the gamut. It's not girls who dress in boots and leather jackets and have piercings or tattoos. It's not just us. It's every kind of woman and every kind of man. So I speak mainly on the behalf of the females because female. Okay, so I'm here to just sitting around, and I've been getting up and down for these videos. I can walk around, as you see. Being disabled as I am has challenged entirely my, I don't know if you can see. I'm sorry, these videos just seem silly now, especially given my finish plan. I thought before labeled this with this disability that the disabled people of the communities were esteemed. I thought that they were well cared for. I thought that they had services availed to them. I thought that, with the handicap stickers in their vehicles, and but the most honorable ones who can walk to the store or whatever don't use the placards. I don't use it. I haven't asked for one. This has changed everything. If you don't have friends, families, and or resources, and you're disabled, you're pretty much screwed. And if you're stalked on top of it, and you have people who have high expectations of you, there's just no level of normalcy, safety, security when we're being stalked. And very difficult to explain that to people who don't want to see it, even when we have garnered evidence, even when aspects of legal clergy, law enforcement, PIs, even when we've been validated on the federal level in some way. Very difficult to explain that to somebody who just does not want to see it. When you look better, or when people think you look better than they do, they have expectations of you, and you're just a human being. There's no there's no free ride. I'm not a whore or a gold digger, so I'm not gonna take anyone up on their offers. So now I will show you what is it. I'll explain a little bit. In 1998, I'm keeping track of the time. I was in a car accident that changed my life. It cracked my sternum and my corresponding T6 vertebrae, thoracic vertebrae. Don't do this. I had already had several years of healing from post-traumatic stress disorder. No shame in having PTSD, by the way, or mental illness if you have it. Treat it. It's no one's business. Let's tangent to that. That's your HIPAA-protected information in this country. Nobody should have access to it, and nobody should be slandering you online. PTSD is a miracle of the mind, by the way. To be able to compartmentalize and still get on with one's life, especially when we're able to heal and get some coping mechanisms, that's a miracle. And still learn and get degrees and keep up with their families. I don't have one, but that's a miracle. So no shame in that. No shame in being stalked. We're not the problem. The social terrorists are the problem. So sorry for the digression. I was in this vehicle accident. No one was high or drunk. It was in the daylight on Highway 17. And I was in a lifted Jeep that I was driving. I rolled several times. I landed upside down. Just a note, Jeeps come with an option for cosmetic roll bars. I had one. I did not know it. That was not the problem, though. It compressed just above my head. Had it gone any further, my neck would have been broken, or I would have died. At any rate, that was my injury, and I had several different medical opinions. I got into trouble with synthetic medications for about a year and cleaned up from that problem. What you might read, if you cared to, I'm sure no one gives a the court records, my ex-husband during the divorce trial said I was loaded through the marriage. No, I ran into a problem that a lot of people with chronic pain and a lot of people who don't know what to do regarding surgery run into. And then later I relapsed on a drug that I was introduced to when I was 5. My mother did not introduce me to that, and I still love my father, although he is deceased. That's all I'm going to say about that. So let's just take that piece of slender out of the equation for me. In 2000, I had a thoracic spinal fusion. Thoracic means middle of the back. And I'm just going to hurry through this. So I had this done, and I had a wing scapula, and I did not know what was the problem. I have cryoanalgesic freezes. Pain specialist goes in, clamps the nerve, freezes it with hydrogen, and it works sometimes, sometimes it does not. Sometimes he opts to use microwaves instead of hydrogen. Those never worked for me. So the surgeon who did the thoracic surgery opted to staple my trapezius muscle onto my scapula, my bone. This last 2009 summer, when I had all these MRIs, one specialist said they would have to rewrite the medical books given what this surgeon did. He's a good surgeon. He just really upped. When they do thoracic spinal fusion, they cut the long thoracic nerve. You have one, I have one, we all each get one. We don't get any more than one. It's common to cut it, and it's common, it's a given that the surgeon tries to reconnect the nerve. You reconnect it during surgery, it's a really good chance that it's going to stay connected. Now I realize this as of 2009. That did not happen for me. And of course the shoulder surgery did not work. The surgeon blamed me, but you can't staple a muscle to a bone and expect it to work. Shoulder surgery is a little bit complex and requires non-usage of the respective arm for several months. So, okay, in 2006 I mentioned I was assaulted. The assault was brutal and violent, and I was thrown onto a very hard floor. My head hit the floor. we have to choose what we believe. As I said, I did not get MRIs of my cervical vertebrae as a commonplace per year. Who does? But after that assault, I started to have symptoms in my arm and hand and the right side. I'm right-handed. I did not tell my doctor about this. I was in the midst of a nervous breakdown, and I chalked it all up to having psychosomatic stress symptoms from the stalking, from my husband at the time, from the assault. I went to rape crisis counseling centers. I had a lot to deal with, and I did not believe, given the chronic pain that I've been in from a tumor, they call it tumor, a neuroma that is actually two, technically they say each. I mentioned the long thoracic nerve. When it's severed, each end starts to form a tumor. The surgeon opted to take the sixth rib from my body to fuse with the thoracic vertebrae. Not all of the rib, but part of it, chunk of it, instead of bone bank. So the nerves don't really know where to grow. Two, they're very smart. And three, they grow into tumors. So one idiot resident, and you can't help, he's just a resident in Mexico, said, well, they only grow a quarter centimeter per year, so you're okay. When you have a nerve growing at any rate and sending pain messages to your brain, you're going to be on opioids, and I've been on them for many, many years. But lower levels than I have been starting in 2000, at the end of 2008. No, 2009. Gradually the symptoms in the right arm became they became all encompassing. I was unable to lift my 10-pound dog. I was unable to type on laptop, and so in 2009 doctors ordered several MRIs, and they showed two rupturing cervical discs. Two doctors opined that probably this happened as a result of the assault. I had already been pregnant because of that assault. I had already contracted the strain of HPV that causes cervical cancer because of that assault. So being reminded of that assault yet again was difficult. HPV, human papillomavirus, can also cause strain that's a little easier to deal with. It causes warts. The strain that causes cervical cancer, as compared to warts lives in the base of the spinal cord, as I understand it, and they take a while to go away. Whereas the strain that causes cervical cancer, for the most part, it goes away for a lot of people. And some people it doesn't, and I haven't had it checked. I don't want any more bad news. I was at the time living with someone I knew sort of better than other people, and I just couldn't tell her. So, okay, I'll show you now. I think that I have a little bit time to show you what the problems look like. No, I don't. I'm sorry, this is going to have to be a two-part situation. I'm going to show you now what the disability looks like. And, I know that I'm not an important person to this whole thing. I know that I don't expect to be remembered. I just want to give the information. That's all I want to do is share it. Because A, disabled people, we don't always look disabled. B, to be disabled, stalked, and have no support virtually is it's a means to an end. And C, if I can help anybody, I'd rather spend my last energies doing that than just go quietly into that good night. Yeah.